Hello everyone. I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm kind of sick of having these all over the floor and in the way and stepping over them, and I really need to make them their little slots for my pastel box here. I've just been way too crazy busy to film any more videos or edit any more videos, so hopefully we can do this in one full shot and I'll have to edit it and then you guys can have something to enjoy while I'm still crazily painting away. Anyway, so what you're going to need is, this is just a like scrapbook container. It's like a thin, I think it's a scrapbook thing. Michael's. Some craft foam. Now, this craft foam I got at the dollar store. It seems pretty thin. It should still do the trick just fine. This original one I did get at Michael's, one of those longer sheets that you could buy by the sheet. I would recommend getting a white, because I don't know if the colors or the dye in this will have any effect and like kind of stain the pastel. I mean, you can always rub it off the pastel, but so I don't know what kind of effect this might have on the pastel. So I would recommend getting white. I'm just lazy. I saw this, I grabbed it, and if I can use it, I'm going to use it. So I'll test it out for you guys. So what we're going to make is this little container for your pastels. Sometimes I can even brush right from the stick in here, so it's like my own little palette. Otherwise I can just pull it out and kind of scrape it off. I also like to label the numbers of what color they are in case I need to replace any when I run out. I do have to, these are Senlier ones, or however you pronounce that. I only have one Schminke one in here, so I'm going to have to kind of differentiate, because I have S right now on these, but this is also an S, so I'm going to have to, like, you know, make sure you label the brand and the color in case you run out and you need to replace it, because I do like to take the papers off, because it's just easier and whatever. Anyway, alright, so what you're going to need is your foam, craft foam, your pastels, scissors, and a hot glue gun. So, let's move this crud out of the way. Alright, so what we're going to do is take out our craft foam here. I think I'll start with the yellow, so it's the lighter of the colors here, and not so cray-cray. Let's see. Oh, that's almost pretty perfect where I need it. So what you want to do first is kind of measure how big you want your little slot. I kind of make them a little bigger than the pastel, so it's easier to get my finger in there if I have to take a piece out. The only thing with the colored also, I don't know if it has any effects on the pastel, but see, like you can see in some of these where if the color rubs off on the white, I can see the color, and it's easier to see kind of like how it'll come out, but you can kind of see the stick, so it's usually pretty similar to the stick anyway, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just being lazy and cheap right now. So, since I already have mine measured, I'm just going to measure from here and kind of just cut that much off from this piece. It's actually nice to have these little pieces because it's just easier to manage. And then you want to make sure you have enough to cradle it as well. Kind of want to make sure I come out. Yeah, look how much thinner. I don't know if you could see how much thinner this foam is. Let me show you here. Compared to the one from Michael's. So I don't know how well this is going to work. But if it just holds it in here for now, I can always redo this and rip it out. I just want to get these out of the way, off the floor. So we're probably going to need to be about right there. Look, I already made this thing filthy. I'm going to cut a couple of those. Looks like I can get about 2 out of the sheet. Right, and what we're going to do first, line it up here. Actually, what I'm going to do is, yeah, figure that out. Where's my hot glue? Okay, so I'm going to put a line of hot glue on the bottom, but you got to be careful because hot glue does sometimes melt the foam. So you might have to be a little generous with the hot glue so it doesn't do that. Okay, so kind of line it. Oops, that is not straight at all. Oh boy, oh well, good enough. So, and we do that there. Now you want to take your next one. Kind of line it up with this. Yeah, this is way flimsier than the other stuff, so it's a little harder to do, but that's alright. It should still work, hopefully. And you want to glue, you want to line this up. Just, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. That would be nice. Maybe if I go sideways. Let's see. Yeah, okay, here you go. So you want to line that up with the previous one and glue those two together through the top here. It's not going as well as that first half did. It's probably because how thin this is. So you just want to get it together. And now you can finish up this piece by gluing it to the case. Get some more structure. Yeah, because this, the thicker one has more structure to it, so you don't really have to kind of shape it as much as this one. This is almost like paper, but this will like kind of hold its shape, so it won't be as flimsy working with. So again, I highly recommend getting the thicker regular one. But you know, if you're in a pinch and this is what you have, you can still use it. So now we're going to take our pastel. Let me try not to use the same pastel, even though I got it all dirty anyway. Because I don't really want to dirty up the pastel. So measure the next one in here. Oh, that's it. Before you do that, put your pastel back in and kind of measure where you want it to cradle. And now you got to glue it to the side. Well, here would be the side of the box, although this one didn't need it, like I said, because it's more rigid. We're going to have to glue these because you can see that. You know, so once we do all these cradles, basically, then we're going to take another piece for a side like this and then create that here. So that's what I have here, and that's what we're going to glue these to so they stay in place. So you kind of line it up. And just a little bit, I should do that. You just kind of want to get it to stay there. Ow, that didn't work. All right. Just stay. Please stay. All right. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't recommend this thin stuff. It is not, you know, as you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble with it. All right. So, I mean, you're just going to continue doing that all the way back, or for as far as you need it, but all the way back is better because then you don't have to worry about it falling over and stuff. So I'm going to do that and be right back. So as a little shortcut, actually, what I've been doing is kind of gluing them together like this outside of this before I put them in. I did like this whole stretch pretty much in like one long pass. So, you know, I take my pieces and basically glue them back to back just on the edge. So I'm basically creating the little cradles first. That makes sense, see? And I'm going to do that for a bunch. Well, now I could probably do it till I get to the end. And then I stick them, then I glue this first one down, and then I lift, glue the bottom, stick it down, lift, glue the bottom, stick it down, and it just goes much easier and much quicker. So I'm going to finish doing that and be right back. Alright, so now I got all that glued down, and for the most part glued to the side here. As you can see, this is pretty barf-tastic looking because of how cheesy this foam board is, but that's alright. As long as it's functional, we shouldn't have a problem. So now at the end here, what I like to do, there's usually a little extra space, at least for the way I measure these. If you want to measure yours out a little bigger so it takes up the whole space, you know, you just may have a bigger gap with them rolling around a little bit, but that should be fine. I take the piece of foam that usually comes with the box when you order a bunch. This is the top piece. I fold it over. Something you can cut out the chunk in the middle or whatever. And I like to just stick that in there in the back and glue the end to that, just to keep things nice and snug. Like so. And now, what I'm going to do probably is, that should be fine. Now we're going to make the line that goes here. So this is not the greatest, it's not the perfect, most perfectly measured, so I'm going to maybe try and clean that up a little bit. Let's see where our pastel comes to. So we have plenty of room. We don't really want to go shorter than that. So I'm just going to take my scissor, and hopefully this won't be too disastrous, and we can kind of clean up this edge a little bit. I'll just cut the top parts first. And this is so weak you can pull it. Otherwise, you could probably take an X-Acto, just kind of do this. I mean, this is pretty much optional. Otherwise you can even see how this is not very even and kind of bubbles all over. I mean, this is a little bit too far out for me. It would bother me, so whatever. This is just more aesthetics. And as you can see, you can't really fit another one this way. I might put a couple, you might be able to get two more facing this way on this side, but like I said, I don't really care. It's just for me and for function. I'd say that's good enough. Yeah. Okay, so actually for the side, since this is so thin, I think I am going to fold this over just to give it a little more of a wall. Because the wall you do want a little sturdier. Yeah, I would say do a fold over. So let's get a full piece. That's the downside of these being a little short, is because now I have to use two of them. So I guess what I'm going to do, probably this way. Yeah, so I measured out how high I want it, and then I'm going to cut that strip off. Just makes it easier. I mean, you could just do it and then cut it after, but I feel like it might be a pain in the butt to do it that way. I'm already making a mess here, as you can see. As you can see, I really don't have time to be doing this, so I'm just kind of rushing it. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is fold these over and glue them so they stay together. Make it even a tougher wall. And we're basically going to glue that to our sides here. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. What I'll probably do is glue this down first, press it up against here, and then go in and glue in the sides. It's just easier that way. So I'm going to do that and be right back. Okay, and as you can see, even with that, my wall is a little high. In the front, I also put a little foam piece here because there was a little empty spot from where the handle goes in, just like how I did in the back. So what I'm going to do is take down this wall a little bit. Take my handy-dandy scissors and just take it down. Alright, so there it is. I say that is good enough. It is not pretty, but it'll be functional. Like I said, you could take your time on this. You can make it as fancy or as sloppy as you'd like. But if you want to do it real good, I would recommend getting the real foam, the good quality, thicker foam from Michaels, like the big sheets. Especially the longer ones, because then you can just have one straight wall. It's easier. This is also protect your pastels a little more. This will do just fine. because they're also in a nice little case. But if you're going to be like shipping these or stuff like that, you want to use probably the thicker and softer, or even fluffier foam. I mean, you might not get as many in here. You know, you can even take the inserts of these and just glue these in here, but you're not going to fit as much because they're more spaced apart, but they'll be more protected. But anyway, so there you have it. There is my pastel case thingy bob. And then the last thing I would do, like I said, I would just write the number and brand of pastel in each slot, so I can order more when I need it, or put them back if I actually take them out. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is helpful to you guys. I'm going to go put all this in here and away, finally, out of the way, and get back to work. So, thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.